I just think that has, sketchy written all over it. Chelsea, for her to be friends with Jessica, I feel like there's an ulterior motive. She's probably trying to keep tabs on her to make sure she doesn't get with Jimmy. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another video. Today I just have some questions that I have to get off my chest. I watched the Love is Blind reunion yesterday, and honestly I was in a pretty good mood when I was watching it because I had broken my fast. For those of you who don't know, we're currently in the month of Ramadan. No food, no water, and no sexual intimacy from sunup to sundown. Yes. So yesterday when I watched the reunion, I had just broken my fast and I was in a really good mood because my belly was full. So I was pretty generous. I was like, oh, this is a really good reunion. They asked a lot of questions. Nick and Vanessa did a really good job. And they did a good job. I'm not going to take that away from them. But there are a lot of questions that we just did not get answered. So I thought today, let me just do a quick video. I'm not going to make it long. I just have a couple of questions that I have around where these people are today. Why did they ask some questions to give us more clarity, and why most of us walked away from the reunion feeling like we have more questions than answers. So let's get into the questions that I have. And honestly, I really do need to check my parasocial relationship with these people because I don't know them, they don't know me, but I'm just curious, I want to know. So the first question that I have is, where are Jimmy and Chelsea today? I feel like their segment on the reunion just was super short. We didn't even know what was going on, if they dated after they broke up, if the rumors that we're seeing around them possibly dating today are true. They really glossed over Jimmy and Chelsea. They didn't even talk about the drama that they had throughout the season, but we really don't know where they are today, and it would have been nice to get that question answered during the reunion. The next question that I have is, when and how did Jessica become best friends with Chelsea? I just think that has, sketchy written all over it. Chelsea, for her to be friends with Jessica, I feel like there's an ulterior motive. She's probably trying to keep tabs on her to make sure she doesn't get with Jimmy, because it just doesn't make sense how all the girls in this season, I feel like all the girls this season were pretty nice, very friendly. So of all the girls, why is it that Chelsea is BFFs with Jessica now, to the point where Jessica's daughter is calling Chelsea auntie? It would have made more sense if Laura was the one that Jessica mentioned her daughter called auntie. But no, it's Chelsea. And I just don't see the connection. So when and how did that happen? I would love to know. The next thing that I would have loved for the Lachey's to ask, or anybody within the guests, is the video that surfaced between AD and Clay spending Thanksgiving together last year, possibly. I think it was around Thanksgiving. But I would have loved for that to come up because it was out before the reunion was filmed, I think. And so why, they didn't probe more around if AD and Clay tried dating afterwards, if they still are. I think they should have pressed AD to give an answer, because she literally was like,
next question.
No, give us an answer. That's what we're here for. But I think that was a huge miss on the part of the Lachey's to just really probe a little bit more and find out. I think another good question that they should have asked is, what prompted AD to give Matthew a chance and go on a couple dates with him? They also could have asked how Kenneth and Brittany forged this super close friendship. It looked like when they broke up that we didn't see them ever again. But in the meantime, they have developed this really close friendship where they talk every day. So it would have been nice to ask, like, how did that come about? And also probe a little bit more on, like, why they think it would be hard to explain to their future partners about this experiment. You just say, hey, I went on Love is Blind, it didn't work out. But it really made it seem like a big deal around, oh, we're just not sure how we're going to tell future partners about this. Like, that was kind of weird. So they should have asked more questions. They definitely should have asked if Chelsea has worked on her insecurities. There was a lot of talk about growth, when it comes to AD and Clay, and like just a year later where people are. But I feel like they didn't ask Chelsea, have you grown from your insecurities? Have you gotten help for that? Because it really was toxic to watch on the screen. And she kind of joked about it, like, everybody knows I have insecurities, but like, no girl, did you work on it? It's been a year. Where are you now? And do you feel like you're ready for the next relationship? I honestly would have loved to know, Jessica, why did it take you 2 days to contact your daughter after you filmed in the pods? You were crying in the pods, claiming that you really missed her, and then you went home and you waited 2 days to contact her to let her know you were back in town. I don't understand that for the life of me. I have a 1-year-old, and sometimes I pick her up from daycare early because I miss her. So it just really didn't reconcile in my head that she would miss her daughter so much that she gets literally emotional when she's talking about her in the pods. Then she goes back home from the pods and she waits 2 days to let her know that she's back in town. I don't get it. And along the same lines, I would also love to know why Jessica thinks it's okay to just keep going on these shows and leaving her daughter behind if her daughter, I don't want to get down that line of like how important her daughter is. She knows her relationship with her daughter, but these are questions that I have in my head. I think they should have also asked Clay, is he still in therapy? He mentioned he went to therapy, but I think he has a lot of trauma and 1 year is not going to fix it. So he should stay in therapy for a long time. This is coming from someone who's been in therapy for multiple years. It takes cycles. It takes a lot of work to unpack a lot of the trauma that you have. So I think they should have asked more questions around Clay's therapy to see like what actually did he learn and what does he think he's going to do better in the future. I think he alluded to it a little bit, but it would have been good to just delve deeper into that. I think another really good question would have been to Jimmy to say, hey Jimmy, why do you think it was worth it to keep pushing forward despite the toxicity in your relationship with Chelsea? We really never got a good answer from Jimmy. Like, he kept saying he loved Chelsea and a lot of us were doubtful or just skeptical around that, but sometimes it literally looked like he was in love with Chelsea. So I think it would have been good to ask him, like, do you truly feel like it was worth fighting for? Do you feel like it was something that you could make work, or were you just kind of playing on for the cameras? And then finally, the question that I have is Jeremy, why didn't they ask him why he wasn't defending Sarah Ann? I felt like Sarah Ann, as much as I don't really care too much about that situation, she came into the reunion and everybody was attacking her and Jeremy just wasn't really defending her. I think he could have shut down a lot of the Sarah Ann hate if he would have just been like, hey, don't come for her. I'm the one who was engaged to Laura. If you guys have questions, you can come to me about it. But really, he kind of just sat there and low-key told Sarah Ann to be quiet and just let it go. But he should have defended her a little bit more, and the host should have been like, hey, if you love this girl, why are you letting us like basically pound on her like that? She's taking a lot of beatings for something that you did. All right, I'm not gonna go on another rant about these people because like I mentioned, I need to really check my parasocial relationships with them. But these are questions that I had. I was really curious about. Just the reunion could have been a lot better in my opinion, now that I've given it a second thought. And hopefully we'll get answers around some of these questions, especially since most of these cast members are doing interviews and podcasts and going on shows. But these are just questions that I had. Are there any questions that they didn't ask during the reunion that you really thought that they should have? Drop down in the comments and let me know. Let's talk about it, because I think although it was a very good reunion, I would give it like a 6 out of 10. It could have been a lot better if we removed some of the fluff from previous seasons and talking about couples that weren't even relevant to this season. Like, we should have just focused on the cast of season 6 and we would have had more time to address some of these questions and more. So let me know what you guys think. Drop down in the comments and drop your own questions that you wish would have been answered during the reunion. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.